A little more juice to this one as opposed to last year. I know you were excited for your first one last year, but with them being ranked, both everybody undefeated.
I mean, it'll be a fun game. It'll be a fun atmosphere. Certainly, it makes for a great game in that they are ranked and both teams are undefeated. It'll be great for the state, fun for the state, fun for both schools, and should be a lot of fun. There's no more or less juice to it, honestly. Just we're trying to continue to get better, and it'll be our first true road game, and so just seeing how guys respond to adversity, that'll definitely hit, and then how do we come out of the gates, and how do we stick to the script, and all the things that go along with that. But certainly it's a fun game for the state with both teams being undefeated right now.
The good memories for you last year, obviously in your first kind of a wild game at the CLA.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was, I've been in a lot of rivalry games, and so it was fun. And the way that it ended was great for the fans, and great that we were able to win. But just the drama of how it went down was really exciting for our fan base.
Well, a lot of guys that are on that team go back on this one. Have you started talking to some of the new guys that maybe haven't been in this rivalry about what this game is?
I haven't heard a lot of that chatter yet. Typically for me, honestly, I'm going to do coach speak here. I normally try to build them the same. It's early in the season. We try to just prepare ourselves the way we do for any other game. I'm sure Brad does the same. I don't know. Maybe he tells those guys they should hate our guts. I don't know. Maybe that's how he gets them ready. I doubt it, but it is. It's a lot of fun rivalry. There's the only thing that compares to being in front of your own crowd is to be in front of a hostile crowd, and that's certainly what it'll be when we go up there. Particularly given both teams have gotten off to a really good start this year. So we're just excited to go up and be able to continue trying to play good basketball.
You mentioned this being your guys' first true road test. How does playing Grand Canyon back at the Arizona Tip-Off potentially help you guys prepare for that? I remember you mentioning it felt like that hostile environment that a road game had.
Yeah, you get a taste of it. They had a really good crowd there. Obviously, it's in their backyard. It was in their backyard, the Grand Canyon game, and so there's a little bit of preparation for that. And so, last year I think honestly our team did a pretty good job on the road. I think most of our wins, a lot of our wins anyway, were in true road games. One year when I was at Chattanooga, we led the nation in road wins in the entire country. And so I think part of that is just that you do prepare the same. You try to prepare the same. You try to go through the same paces. You try to get to the same mindset every single game, whether that's home or whether that's away, and then let the chips fall where they may. But so we had a good practice today. We'll try to do the same thing, but certainly the Grand Canyon game hopefully did a little bit to prepare us.
Does it help that you're so comfortable being on the road given your previous success on the road?
From a mindset standpoint, from a mindset and preparation standpoint, I think so. I've always done it that way. I just have always tried to prepare to get the guys in the same exact mindset. Some of your pregame routines will be different. You're not sleeping in your same bed. There are a lot of things that'll be a little bit different, but from a mindset and preparation standpoint, we try to make it business as usual if we can.
Aside from the rivalry of being on the road, just from basketball, what does Clemson do well? What are they going to bring? What's the challenge facing that team Wednesday night?
They're a solid team. They got a lot of different guys that can put the ball in the basket. I think Adam Girard was a shot in the arm for them from an offensive standpoint. You got a guy like P.J. Hall, who's going to be in the conversation and already is in the conversation for ACC Player of the Year. It's early, I know that, but that's the caliber of player that he is. He can hurt you from the inside. He can hurt you from the outside. So they're a versatile team. There's some similarities, honestly, between them and us. And so it should be a lot of fun. But they got a really good team, good defensive team. They're scrappy. They're not afraid to play physical brand of basketball. They're a versatile type team. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
What do you like seeing from Jacoby so far? How do you think he's handled kind of coming off the bench?
I think Jacoby is been really solid guy for us. He's on Team Us, undoubtedly so, and that's a huge part of what's led to the growth in his career. He's improved a ton since the day that I first got here, even. But I just think he wants to win in any way that he can help do that is great, and it's fine by him. So, I don't know that he cares too much about starting versus not starting. Maybe all guys, I'm sure, probably want to start, but he's also playing a lot of minutes off the bench. So we had a guy named A.J. Caldwell who will go down in history to these guys here. I talk about him all the time on our chat teams that hardly ever started, but at the end of the games he always finished. And so there's some of that in Jacoby. So that's a great trait to have. There's a lot of reliability, and I have a lot of trust and faith in what he's going to do when he gets on the court.
What's the importance of having a test like this, particularly after you guys have had a hot start, to continue to test you guys up and bring a challenge?
Yeah, it's the only way that I think it's the easiest way to improve and to evaluate what you need to improve upon is to challenge yourself against tough competition. And so this certainly will be that. It's great for the guys. You play. You wanna have validation of what you're doing. And again, I think the best way to do that is to play really good teams. And so we played well. We've done enough to win all of these games. And one day it's one guy, another day it's another guy. One game we've won with making 18 threes. Another game we've won with getting a lot of stops. So we've been able to do it in different ways. And again, this is a really good team, and it'll challenge us. We don't know how it'll go down or what we'll be called upon to do in order to get a win. But I think business as usual is the way to do it.
Lamont, is there an update on Dibba? Maybe any timetable when he might?
Not really. I haven't heard too much. I mean, he's still practicing, and when he's ready to go, someone will tap me on the shoulder and say he's available, and we'll put him into the mix, but not necessarily right now.
Michi's obviously played really solid these past few games. What have you seen from him, and how has he kind of grown from the beginning of the season to now?
He's been consistent. He's found other ways offensively to help us. I think he's grown as a defender, that's for one. But I think even as on the offensive side of things, he's been making some mid-range shots. He's had games where he's attacked the rim very effectively and really aggressively. So I think I think his shot selection has been significantly better. I just think he's been more confident. I think that's a big part of it. I think when you're comfortable in your role and you're not out there trying to prove something necessarily, I think you get more comfortable and more confident, and that's what he's been. So I think he's been a more consistent performer for us so far. So early in the year, but obviously we need him to play well for us to be a good team.
What's a guy like Bozeman to the ball bring to this team? He might not score a ton of points, but he brings an extra edge of physicality to the paint. How important is that going to be for you guys this weekend?
Yeah, physicality, energy, depth. He's got great morale. He's a guy that you can look to, and I think he's going to turn the tide in terms of when he comes in the game and how it's going to go. You can put him in there when you're stagnant maybe, or when you need some a shot in the arm. He's really good at that. He's selfless. He gets offensive rebounds and kickouts to guys that he knows that their role is more to put the ball in the basket than his, and so that's been really valuable. He's a great teammate. He's been a really good teammate. Whatever role we ask him to do is the one that he tries to perfect, and so that's really valuable.
What does BJ Mack bring to this team kind of off the court? What's that dynamic like away from just kind of in-game?
He's a great kid. He's an older guy. He's been around. He's been experienced. We have a lot of guys. So specifically, I think he's got a really good sense of humor. I think the guys like being around him. I think they like being around each other as well. So we have a lot of guys that fit. The same thing I just said about BJ, I could say about multiple guys. And I think when you start to talk about being connected and having a great great aura about your team and having a great culture, I think it's because you have multiple guys that you can say that about, and I think that's where we are. But BJ's he's a fun-loving kid. He's got a great personality. I call them kids, I guess, but he's got a great personality, and he's a pleasure to be around.
What's kind of the secret been with limiting turnovers over the last 3 games? I mean, you guys had 17 against the ball, 17 since that. I feel like it's something we really didn't talk about a ton the other night.
Yeah. Decision making has gotten better. I think we've spaced the floor. The game has slowed down for a couple of guys, and so I think we're aggressive to catch and shoot and get the ball moving and throw to. Yeah, I don't know what the secret is. We got unselfish guys. We got guys that are. I think a lot of times turnovers come from trying to do too much. Honestly, a lot of times that's the case, and we don't have guys trying to do too much. I think guys are comfortable in their own skin. I think guys are comfortable with passing the ball to someone else, knowing that the energy of the ball will eventually return to them and they'll get some looks. So I attribute it mainly to just having an unselfish group that is, got some good decision makers in there.
Anything else, Coach?
All right.
Thanks, Coach.